Here we go, guys. Monday Night Football. And we got a lot to jump into today. Evening, afternoon, wherever you're tuning in. Appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with me. My name is Billy Collins, and for the next hour, we're going to be placing a ton of bets. We got some couple big changes, announcements that have happened today. Starting with number one, Missouri. Congratulations. We finally made it. We are here for the official launch. Today is the first day. If you live in the state of Missouri, you can now sports bet legally. And you have 9 different sportsbook options. So there's a lot of great options today. Also, as of today, ESPN bet, adios. The score bet, what's up? So the ESPN bet is now officially transferred over to the score bet. So we're going to see a new logo pop up a lot on my screen, which is the score bet. We're going to take a look at some of those. I was pretty limited on my ESPN bet before the switch, but notice that it's a little bit better than what it was before, which I appreciate that. So while I'm still limited on the score bet, based on the transition, still able to get some place bets down. The one thing though, guys, about the score, they don't have a desktop website. They only have a mobile app. So kind of like Fanatics, no desktop website, just a mobile app. So we'll have to deal with that. We're going to jump into DFS, PrizePicks, Underdog, Better, Parlay Play, DraftKings Pick 6, Dabble. Maybe take a look at Owner's Box too. We'll see what's going on. One last thing that I want to mention, and then I swear we'll get into the plays. 2 weeks ago on my YouTube page, I posted a poll for all OGs and DGens asking you guys if you wanted me to make the live stream chats only for members. And we had about 15 votes. Appreciate the people that voted and commented. It was actually 2/3 of you wanted me to change the live stream chats to only OGs and DGens. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to keep the live stream chat open to everybody. So anyone can chat. But as you guys know, for any OGs and DGens, if you want to see a certain play, a certain sports book, a certain promo, I got you. No problem. For anyone else that isn't a OG or DGen, if you ask me to look for a play or to talk about a certain promo or open up a certain book, or for those that come on later this stream and like, yo, show me an underdog play, I'm not going to do that. I've done that in the past. But now that we're in the high, busy season, guys, if you want to see certain plays, certain sports books, you have to be a premium member, an OG or a DGen, like Wilbo, like Maddie, everyone in here. Dr. Slips, what's going on? So done with all the chatting, guys, but just wanted to mention, appreciate those that all voted for the poll. But we are going to keep the live stream chat available for everybody. But if you want to see certain plays, we are going to just make it I'm only going to deviate from the stream just for those members. All right, so let's refresh the page here. We start off with DFS. Normally, that's the rhythm with the streams. We start at the beginning with some DFS. So looking at we got PrizePicks, we got Dabble, we got Better. Okay, we got some discounts on Better with Drake May and the Joker. This play looks really good compared to Pinnacle for Nickeil Alexander-Walker under 19.5 points. So this looks decent. So let's see if we can get this over here. And then what else could we hit up for PrizePicks? What about Kevin Love under on his PRA? Yeah, this is okay to Pinnacle. It's not incredible, but it's all right. I don't mind that at all. What about Ramondre on his rushing attempts? What's the official line here from Pinnacle? And what I love about this, guys, too, Pittsburgh guy, the Steelers obviously lost yesterday. There's no Pinnacle line or FanDuel line. Interesting. Really interesting on this one. Okay. Kind of word out in the street is that Coach Tomlin is in a little bit of hot water, but not with ownership. Maybe Coach Tomlin might have been fooling around on his wife. That's the hot gossip right now. So much so that maybe he might have went out with a girl and maybe knocked her up. Don't know, but that's at least back in Western Pennsylvania. That's been the hot talk today, guys. Coach Tomlin. Yo, what's going on, Coach T? So that's what's been going on. So Kevin Love under 12.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Cool. We got Alexander Walker We got his, under on his PR, or under on his points. Cool. So can't confirm or deny, but been hearing some chatter. Old Coach T. Been having some fun. Maybe that's why they haven't been playing well. Maybe he's a little distracted at the moment. Maybe that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Trying to finish out this prize pick slip, guys. Jalen Duren, under 30.5 points and rebounds. It's pretty good to not bad to FanDuel. All right, let's take a look at this one. Duren on his points and rebounds. Where's this at? There it is. Bingo. All right, this is going to be a 3-pick entry, guys. No insurance. If you want to tail this, we're fading dudes. Fading all 3 of these guys. I love fading guys. Love fading dudes. So here we go. Take a look at this. Rick, what's going on, man? Saints fan, what's going on? Did I not post this? Is this not coming in the chat? Bro, the hell? There we go. Sharp Money Tool made me $1,200 yesterday. Appreciate that, YouTube. Great to hear that. Let me catch up to everyone that's OG. Maddie, what's great? Great day to be in Missouri. Finally able to stay home and place bets. Love to hear that, man. Let's go over here. So as I mentioned here, guys, let's say Saturday, what's good? I heard they reset limits on the score. So possibly, I was looking at some player props, Sat, and still was only able to get like $15 to $20, but I'm going to obviously open it back up for live betting. I'm just going to try to keep it for live. There's a lot of good stuff, though, over there that I definitely want to take a look. I mean, there's a lot on the score that looks really, really good. All right, Ryan Rollins, let's take a look at this play. Over on his points. Somebody wants this at minus 116 odds for $5,100. Obviously, I'm going to play it at a 3-man slip at minus 122. Very good, though, to Pinnacle. It's okay to Bookmaker and FanDuel, but I can get in on this Rollins play. No doubt about that. I haven't played my Drake May discount over on his passing and rushing yards. Basically, discounts guys are ran over on Better every day, which is really awesome. And so we're going to go more on Rollins. And then where is Better? We got Dylan Brooks under on points. Okay. It's really good to Bookmaker and Circa. It's okay to Pinnacle. It's not great to Pinnacle, to be honest. But somebody wants this at about $800 for minus 128 odds. We can mess around with that. I'm okay with going with a Dylan Brooks under on his points. Again, this is a perfect entry, guys. $10. For those of you that are tuning in, I talked about it before, but, we're going to be making, for any of my OGs, DGens, if you want to see, obviously, certain requests, certain promos, certain things, obviously going to be more than happy to accommodate you. But for anyone that's not an OG or DGen that wants to see a certain sports book or wants to see a certain play, I'm not going to be taking those requests anymore. It'll probably change when we get to the spring or summer, guys. But in the heavy betting season months, I want to make sure I'm providing a lot of value to my channel supporters and subscribers that help me out so much. So I really appreciate you guys. All right, let's reset this once more, and let's remove PrizePicks at the moment and Better. And let's get rid of them. And what else do we have left over here? So we got some dabble plays. You could take NCA guys under on his 19.5 points like we did on PrizePicks. You could take Brooks under on his points. You could take Ramondre on his rushing attempts. My only issue with this Ramondre play, no real sharp sports books are offering odds on this. But if you can get this at minus 122, well, it looks pretty incredible. So maybe something that shouldn't be offered by those books. To finish out dabble, if you want Jalen Johnson under on his points and rebounds at under 31.5, this is a decent price to FanDuel. It's okay. I'm all right with that one as well. Looks like we saw some underdog value, though. We talked about, let's look at Jalen Suggs on his player points. Yeah, this is okay. It's not great. It's better if you're playing this on a 6-man slip. We already talked about Duren. We could play Johnson. Ryan Nemhard on his assists. Okay. So let me head over to Underdog. Let's see what we got. And remember, guys, there is 2 Nemhards, Andrew and Ryan, brothers, of course. Luca under on points. Again, the sharp money tool, this is too low for a sharp money play. I'm just really peeping the sharp sports books to see what their prices are. We might have something, obviously, for DraftKings Pick 6, for sure. See what we got going on. Chi-Town, what's going on, man? You heading to the indoor golf league? That sounds like a great time. Living out here in Arizona, I need to play a little bit more golf. That's for sure. Fun fact, guys, that's actually my undergraduate degree was in golf course management. Worked in the golf industry for almost 10 years. Does Trevor Lawrence play? Yeah, this is for later on. Not really sure, but love golf. Probably if I went out and played, I haven't played in like 3 months, but I was at the range 2 weeks ago and it went well. I would say I'm probably right now like a 12 handicap. But it all just depends on my short game. I could easily break 80 if my short game's there. If my short game's not there, I could probably shoot like 84, 85. PRA. Okay, I like this Valanciunas play. Over on Nembhard's assists for Dallas. Under on Valanciunas' PRA. Matherin. It's not that great to Pinnacle. Could be okay. Let's look about Kawhi. All right, I can do Kawhi. Kawhi under 31.5 PRA. Looks like something. This is a slight difference in payout. It's not quite a 6x payout. To be fair, it's off by $3.50. I'm not going to lose my mind. I've reached my daily limit on Underdog. All right, guys, I can't share this. What the hell? I mean, I'm limited on Underdog to $25 a slip. I've made 3 slips today. Apparently, I hit my limit. Are you kidding me? That's it? Bro, all right, guys, I do apologize. So this is the best I can do. Hard out there in the streets. This would have been the slip that I would have created, but I can't make the slip on Underdog. They won't let me do it. And you know, I know most people in here believe me, but I just like to keep it like a buck with everyone here. So just so you guys know, when I go to place this, I receive this message. Sorry about that. You reached your daily limit. We can't submit this entry. So that's as good as I can do on that Underdog slip. Can't really share any Underdog links. I can share plays, guys. I can't share links. C'est la vie, Underdog. Dude, 3 slips in a day? That's it? Incredible. Appreciate that, Dr. Slips. Rick, you blew up another DK account. So listen, guys, I'm sorry to hear about that, Rick. So one thing I'll definitely mention, and I think it's definitely worth playing. There's a lot of promos out there today. I go over to Hard Rock. I go over to DraftKings. There's an incredible promo, guys, on Sportsino. For any of you that aren't limited, it's like a 40% boost. I played a 2-leg SGP for $100 and was able to get an insane payout and increase. Let's go over to Fliff. So for those of you that are out there, I like to play the SGP boosts on these books for fun. So I try to play the SGP boost almost every day. Earlier today on Desert Diamond, which is a Bet Rivers Canby sportsbook, guys, I was able to create a 3-leg SGP that was actually quite positive EV. That's kind of the holy grail, the imaginary path. If you can play an SGP that actually has positive EV where the payout's not getting extremely nerfed, that's the best thing that you can do for your account health, because the sportsbooks want you to play SGPs. But as we all know, 95% of the time, the SGP boosts that they give you are dog shit. The pricing that they give you, the nerfing of the correlation, it's all sucks, even if there isn't much correlation baked in. So if you can try to find positive EV plays that are SGP, that's the holy grail. But still, if you can't, I still try to play the SGP boost that they give me for, $5-10 and just bet my opinions. And I know most likely I'm giving some money back to the sports books, but it's something I like to do. So this is kind of garbage over here on Fliff. Not a big fan of that. Over here on DraftKings Pick 6, let's take a look at some 3 minimum data points. We'll start with the NBA because that's where everything's at. We have some boosts over here on Pick 6. Really nice. I mean, I've been enjoying Pick 6 quite a bit this year. It's been a fun time. Do we have any we have a winning boost pack for the Patriots and the Giants. Doesn't look like we got gravy season. Okay. Nothing though for the NBA, which kind of stinks. Benedict Mathurin under on his PRA. This is a I got to move quickly. We got to move quickly on this Benedict Mathurin play. And basically you could take either one. Doesn't really matter. It already moved to 29.5. Honestly, though, it could still be kind of decent. What about his points? Yeah, both of these already moved. Already bumped. Jalen Tyson. Yes, I like that. Did they bump this as well? Yeah, they bumped this as well. Okay, Jalen Tyson got bumped. I mean, I'm on it. Sometimes I do pass it up. Yeah, don't see it out there. Don't see it out there at all. So we'll just move on. McConnell. I like the McConnell play. Okay, Dyson Daniels. I don't mind that. Tobias Harris, very good to FanDuel. The Harris plays very good. Okay, finally get one in. Finally get one in there. There we go. Favorite AZ course, Louise. So I've only probably, I've played probably only like 8 or 10. I don't really have any golf buddies out here. That's the kind of crappy part. All my friends out here don't play golf. So I end up never playing golf. Dinosaur Mountain. I've played Dinosaur Mountain. That's probably my favorite one. It's probably like, I can't remember what town it is. I'm geographically challenged when it comes to this area in Phoenix. But Dinosaur Mountain, I think maybe out by Gold Canyon. Really good track. Really enjoyed that one. I used to work up at Desert Mountain, which is a private golf club up in past North Scottsdale. I worked there for a winter, which was awesome. But I would say that's my favorite one. I live obviously closest. I live in Old Town, guy, so I live closest to Silverado, which is a favorite of mine. McDowell Mountain isn't too bad either. Played there before. But there's so many good tracks out here in Phoenix. No doubt about that. Chi-Town gone. Gotcha. Thanks, Arink. I really appreciate that, man. Really appreciate that. Yeah, the round robin was. I should have bet more, to be honest, because there's insurance baked in. I should have put like 300 to 400 on that slip. But hey, I mean, I'll take it. I'll take a $700 profit on that. That was great. So if that play already bumped, what else do we got? CJ McCollum. Like that a lot. Under on his PRA. Again, I can't find the Tyson play. I like the Daniels play. George. I like this again. But again, they're on the same team. I don't know if we can get that. What about Jay Huff? Huff's fine. Under on his points and rebounds. What else do we got? Talked about Tobias. I don't mind that at all. Siakam. Again, he's on the same team. We can go with Vooch. I'm all right with Vooch. Under 17.5 points. Okay, here's another pick 6 entry here, guys. Okay, try that one out. Yeah, great spot. Old Town's always a great time, guys. Second most popular bachelorette destination in America behind Nashville. So, it's a good time. It's a very good time in Old Town. Let's take a look at the NFL for pick 6. How about for today? Let's take a look at the Patriots. Let's take a look at the Giants. We'll first look at the Giants odds. Remember, guys, if you type in Giants like I did here, you're only going to see Giants players. I don't know what the boost is that we have on this. I didn't see the details, but we're going to look to cook up a 3-leg slip. Isaiah Hodgins, that's fine. The under on Tyrone Tracy, yeah, not really. Okay. Rushing attempts, hard to say. The rush yards, yeah, not great. I'm going to go with Hodgins. So we're going to take his over 23.5 receiving yards. Let's see if we can find anything for the Pats. Don't like the Trevion play. Don't mind Hunter Henry. Over on his receiving yards. Okay. Mr. Booty. Mr. Booty's not great. Henderson under on his rushing yards. Don't really like that. Just compared to the rest of the books, guys, it's not great. Douglas, don't like that. Diggs, don't like that. Drake May on his rushing yards. It's a higher bar by a yard. It could be a big difference here, guys. Hopefully it's not. This isn't my favorite play here with Drake May. We have what? We have a 30% boost. These are all 4 picks. God, I hate playing 4 picks. Ooh, but they're only giving me $10 max entry. So I'm not going to play the 4-pick entry here, but I am going to play this as a 3-pick. I'll share this as well. What's going on, Ken? How are you, my friend? How are you, man? Yeah, it's definitely aggravating, Ramo. No doubt about that. Okay. So like I said, honestly, this pick 6 play for the NFL, I don't love it. I like the other and 2 other NBA entries. Not a huge fan of this one, but is what it is. Okay. So, we'll go over Dabble once more just to kind of round this out. And then we're going to head over, guys. We're going to look at some arbitrage plays. We'll look at some positive EV plays, NHL anytime goal scores, NFL anytime touchdown scores, NFL player props, NBA player props. A lot to get into. So, but love to hear that outside. I mean, Maddie, you've obviously been on the streams for a long time, but would love to hear if I have anyone. If you guys are from Missouri and you're just checking the stream out now, let me know in the chat. Would love to hear from you guys because it is a big day today for anyone that's in Missouri because you're obviously now can legally bet, which is huge. PJ Washington. Oh, yeah. Even though this is only at 16 and FanDuel's at 16.5, I definitely like the under. FanDuel's got this under at 15.5 at -126. Take PJ Washington's under. Zubac on his over. If we take the average odds between FanDuel and Pinnacle at this time of the day, I'm fine with taking the over on his rebounds. The only problem with taking LaMelo under on his threes is that he's probably going to attempt 15 plus 3-pointers. Not my favorite. I'd rather go with, again, Nickeil Walker, Alexander Walker, under 19.5 points. It's 14 cents off to FanDuel, which is okay, and it's 20 cents off to Pinnacle, which is a green light for us. So take NCA. I prefer that. You can take LaMelo on his threes, but I don't have FanDuel odds here. I would just rather take the NCA play. I have a little bit more confidence in that. All right, arbitrage. You can see the new logo, guys. It's pretty much the same as ESPN Bet. It popped up before, disappeared. We'll see it again. The score, it's only available on your mobile phone. The score has been around for a while, but obviously now that it's fully transitioned over to ESPN Bet, we now have an opportunity. And as Satya said earlier, if you guys have been severely limited on ESPN Bet, take a peek over on the score. You might have either your limits reset or your limits, if they were down here, they might be up here now. You might be able to wager a little bit more over there. Always worth taking a look. This happened with Desert Diamond out here in Arizona. I know it's an Arizona-specific book, but they did like a facelift like 4 months ago or 3 months ago on their sports book. Literally, my personal account that got limited two years ago, brand new account. It was like brand new all over again. It was awesome. I obviously nuked it in like a month, but it was fun for a month. So take a look at that. So we got some different plays here for arbitrage. This is the time of the day that I would arbitrage NBA player props. 5:30 game for LaMelo. This is in like just over an hour. You can hit this up on MGM and Bovada. Onyx odds, I probably don't trust Onyx to actually be truthful here. Bracco and MGM. So MGM's just really off on a bunch of books. You can do this on Bet 105, Sports Zeno. Really, really good time. But LaMelo, you're way off. Outside of LaMelo, you could see that. Here we go. Here's the score. It's basically the same colors as ESPN Bet. It's just with an S instead of an E. So Nicholas Batum, you can hit this play up for 4.5% edge on Bovada, and the score. Ronald Holland, DraftKings, BetMGM. Again, guys, when it comes to these player props, understanding your sports books, understanding that on ProfitX and No Vig for the Bridges and Stewart play, you can bet whatever you want. You can bet loose change on the end of your bets, right? So if you're looking at this play, maybe between Bridges, right, and you're like, man, I really want to hit this play up, make it a nice round number on Onyx. $100 is great. This kind of works out really well. But if you wanted to bet 125, don't freak out that you have to bet 2 cents on No Vig, because No Vig doesn't care what you bet. Does not matter. So this is where you can get precise. Obviously, in this case, maybe just bet $99. But you don't have to round up on No Vig to $100. You can literally just bet 99. We try to stay away from oddball numbers on the recreational books, on the MGMs, the DraftKings, the Hard Rocks, the Sportzinos. Excuse me. You don't want to wager $57.33. But on the exchanges, doesn't matter, right? So you just want to be careful with how things kind of operate there. The score bet, guys, is very similar, just like ESPN Bet. It's pretty much the same thing in terms of you can type in a ridiculous number on there, and they'll tell you the max wager that you'll take. That's why we do like ESPN. That's why I liked it. That's why I like the score. Same with like FanDuel, where you can just type in a very high number before you have to click submit, and you can find out what the max wager size is. Makes life easier with arbitrage betting. Books like DraftKings and MGM and Caesars, I know there's a Chrome app extension that you could put on Caesars, or at least you'd be able to use to, that you could see what the max wager size is. But for DraftKings and MGM, when you submit the bet, you have no idea if they will accept it or if they will, say, hey, actually, you can't bet this. But on FanDuel, on Hard Rock, on Fliff, on the score, this is where you can find that out. So that's why it's so advantageous when you're executing these ARBs. You want to, lean on FanDuel first. So, what do I mean by that? So what I mean is if you pull up this Isaiah Stewart play, and obviously I'm not logged in at the moment, but this is just an execution. If you come over here and you say, I'm going to get this over 7.5 player points at minus 111. So you come over to player points. If it's Stewart's main line, we'll have to see. It might be an alt line. Yeah, here's his main line. So what you want to do is you want to figure out, you want to type in a crazy number and say, okay, here's the max wager size on FanDuel. Now what you want to do is you want to come back over here and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I know I can bet $300. Maybe work with these numbers until you find a nice number. I'll bet $325 on FanDuel. Let me try to bet $275 on Hard Rock. So what you want to do is then submit the wager first on Hard Rock, because you know that FanDuel will accept this wager size. You don't know if Hard Rock's going to accept this. So submit the bet first on Hard Rock, then lock in the second leg with FanDuel next. That's how you play it safe. What you don't want to do is put up a crazy wager size on FanDuel, lock this side in, and maybe this is like a DraftKings, and you find out that DraftKings isn't going to accept your $275 wager. They're only going to accept $83.33. And you're like, dude, I'm screwed now. These are little tips and tricks to help you become more efficient with arbitrage and to avoid those mistakes, because yours truly made those mistakes back in the day. So those are little things that you don't want to do when you're arbitrage betting, little things like that. All right, let's go back over the Sharp Money tool, and let's pull up the rec books, and let's just take a look at some player props. Let's look at the best player props that we have available. We're going to look for pinnacle limits of at least $250, which honestly isn't much. And we're going to have the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL all teed up here. Player props. I don't have any odds at the moment. So Mr. Knuppel, however you say this dude's name, somebody wants this at plus 105 odds on his over 5.5 rebounds. They put up $4,100, that's more money than really any recreational sports book will accept. So betting this over 5.5, we can get this at a better price at FanDuel. So I'm going to log back into FanDuel right now. Now, this is truly a sharp money play, which what I mean by that is, this is a decent price to Pinnacle. It looks like it's off. I don't know if it's still incorrect over here on FanDuel. We're going to take a look. 6 rebounds. Con is at minus 113. So this is just an incorrect price. I'll double check to make sure on his alt line. No, it's not there at all. Let's look at player rebounds. Yeah, so this is an incorrect pricing over here on FanDuel. I don't know if OddsGM's pulling in the incorrect odds, but this is wrong. But even so, somebody wants this at plus 105 odds. You can get this over at the Score or Bovada. I'm willing to do that. It's 5 cents off to what the professional bettor wants it as. So I like that. I'm even almost willing to go over to bet 105. As I said, guys, when I'm looking at these plays, I'm paying attention to what does the professional bettor want this price at. They want it at plus 105. This person wants it at plus 106. I'm willing to go 5 to 8 cents of a range off of that price. So if I get this at minus 101 compared to plus 105, that's a 6 cent difference. So I'm still willing to do that. So I can go over to bet 105, which for the most part, they copy Pinnacle's odds, right? I can't bet on Pinnacle because I live in the United States. And if you're an American citizen, you can't bet over there. Unfortunately, I placed a lot of bets over there earlier, but I still got about $90 in the account. So I'm just going to go rock this Con Knuppel play at minus 101 odds and grab him for the 6 rebounds for him to go over 5.5. It's actually at minus 104, which is just at my threshold here, but I'll still take it for $90. All right, so we go over here to bet 105 and snag this price. Never mind, I couldn't get it. Market's temporarily suspended? Yeah. Okay, scrap that. Let's just refresh the page and let's move on to something else. Nick Claxton on his player points. Somebody wants this at minus 105 odds for $4,000. That's a lot of dough. You can get a better price at a Hard Rock and MGM. But you can get this at minus 106 over on DraftKings. Okay. Minus 107 over on Bet 105. Okay. I don't mind that. Don't mind that at all. So somebody wants this at minus 105, guys. So I'm going to go grab this Nick Claxton play. Speaking of the Nets and the Hornets, player points. They moved it to minus 106. That's fine. I only have $90 in the account. I'm still cool with it. They're giving me this market suspended BS. I don't know what's up with this. Let's go over to DraftKings and hit this up then. Maddie, don't know, man, to be honest with you, because I don't really use the one-click bet feature. So hopefully someone else in the chat can answer that for you guys. Answer that for you. Dr. Slips, is there a reason why you don't use the no vig odds settings on the fantasy tool? I guess I haven't really I guess I haven't played around with it enough to make me look. Yeah, I should show the no vig odds. Yeah, really no reason. Honestly, it's a great question, Dr. Slips, just because I'm never thought to use it. So that's the only reason. I've been kind of ignorant to it this whole time, to be honest with you. Great question. But definitely want to show the no vig odds because it's definitely helpful. For sure. For you guys that are on DraftKings looking at the king of the touchdown end zone promo that they're running on DraftKings, obviously OddsJam doesn't really have a market to look at the longest touchdown score. So just bet whoever, I would just say bet your opinion there for $5. Or if you want to go a little bit more, that's fine. We can look for some anytime touchdown value, but we will. But, in terms of the longest score, I would probably try to go with a very explosive player. So we're looking for Nick Claxton on the Sharp Money tool. Okay. Ryan Rollins, we talked about this before. Can't really get this anywhere else but the Sharp books. You can get this kind of at Caesars. Claxton over 13.5 points. Minus 106. Let's double check. Yeah, it's the same price. Okay. I'm going to go in for a 150 spot here on Claxton, guys. So we're in on here on DraftKings at what? Minus 106? And wouldn't you know it, I'm basically out of money on DraftKings after I put everything in. Let's see what else we have. Ryan Rollins. Talked about this play before. But the over 15.5 points. Somebody wants this at minus 122, minus 121. We can get this at minus 123 on DraftKings. You can go over to Camby and get this. Hard Rock and get this. I don't mind this play at all. Somebody wants this for basically $3,500. So you can get this at a similar price. Again, guys, when we're talking about this time of the day, it's a lot of money, $3,500. Most recreational books are not going to let you wager $2,000 on a player prop. So I do think there's something to be gleaned here from the Sharp Money tool. The way that I would use this tool, as I mentioned before in previous streams, is use a unit system, 1 unit, 2 unit. We talk about multipliers of Pinnacle. Pinnacle's only taking $500. So this is a 7x multiplier to Pinnacle. Anything that's 5x or higher for player props, bingo. I'm in on that all day. So maybe a 5x multiplier or higher for you is a 1 unit play, right? Maybe if it's an 8x multiplier or higher, maybe it's a 1.5 unit play or 2 unit play, right? These are kind of little rules or a structure. You want to follow some type of strategy or structure, guys, when you're using this tool. So that's kind of what I would go after. What's Pinnacle's limit? And then if we're taking a 5x multiplier or more for player props, that's a unit. If you want to say maybe 8x multiplier or more, maybe that's a 1.5 units or a 1.25 units, whatever you're comfortable with. But try to keep this very just round numbers, right? Maybe it's $100, maybe it's $50, maybe it's $75, whatever the case is. Don't bet $132. Don't bet $114. This is where we have an opportunity to kind of bet really nice, flat, casual sports bettor type numbers. And obviously, you can try to pair these in parlays as well. Demon under 15 or under 5.5 player assists. This play is looking, this is just a play only available really on Hard Rock and Sports Zeno. So not really worth it. Let's look at LaMelo on his assists. Somebody wants $2,000 on this. Again, we're kind of dipping below that multiplier now. We're at about a 4.2x multiplier, maybe 4.5x multiplier. But you can get this at plus odds over on the Canby Sportsbooks. Somebody really wants this at minus 103 odds. MGM and the Canby books is where I would go, or maybe it's just MGM now. Might just be MGM. All right, let's go back over. Let's take a look at the positive EV tool. I got the NHL player goals set up. Looks like it's just Leo Carlsson for my Circa people. Honestly, anything outside of Circa, I wouldn't bet this. It's not good enough over at FanDuel. It's a negative EV play. We need odds above, basically plus 233. And so I don't see this at all. Again, if you have an exchange, like a Novig, like a ProfitX, you want to make sure that you go over there and maybe just create a price. Create a price for Leo at plus 253 odds, offering the under at minus 253. That you're going to be offering the best under on Novig. Might be able to get your order filled, right? You might be able to. Unfortunately, out here on 4CX, not a market that I can create. But this is something you can create over at Novig. So as I mention this all the time, guys, if you're like, bro, I don't have Circa, or bro, I'm limited on Fanatics and Ballybet, MGM, that's okay. If you have Novig or ProfitX, go create the market out there. Just dangle a little fruit out there. See if someone will take a bite. You never know. Let's take a look at some anytime touchdown scores. Again, having these pre-made save filters, guys, is really awesome. If you use code Billy35, you're going to receive a 1-week free trial to OddsJam and then 35% off your first month. Looks like we don't have anything for anytime TD scores. We are on a play on Dub Club. For my Dub Club people, we are on a play that I gave out yesterday. So glad that we kind of made me lock that in now because we don't have anything out there at the moment. So let's fire up some player prop odds, right? That's what everyone's really interested in, is hitting up some player props. And let's clear this all out. And let's go and look at the NFL and the NBA. And we'll pull up I won't go with the NHL right now. I haven't had a great time outside of player goal scorers betting player props on the NHL. We are going to go over to Pinnacle. We're going to use the worst case scenario. Again, guys, I use the custom EV formula. The problem is it's just too slow for the live stream. It just doesn't load up fast enough for me to really be able to showcase it. But for my Platinum Plan people, it's an awesome, awesome tool. And let's see what we have. The biggest indicator for me, guys, is movement from a Sharp Sportsbook, especially when it comes to player prop betting. So all of these plays on the screen for me are right now just recommendations. They're not actually like I have to bet these plays. I need to vet all of these plays one by one to see if they meet certain criteria, like a cross-market arb to Pinnacle, Do we have movement from a sharp sports book? Right? There's a couple other things that need to happen. So Dean Wade, even if you guys don't have Hard Rock, I like to pop open this play to see, yo, can we get this anywhere else at a good price? Now, over here on FanDuel, it's at plus 100 odds. And plus 100 odds makes this still a 9% EV edge play, looking at his under 4.5 rebounds. So let's pop open. Pinnacle's taking $500. What do we got? This is what I'm talking about. Pinnacle has moved a lot within the last 8 minutes. They were at plus 105. They've now moved to minus 141. That is a ton of movement. Okay. This is an ARB to Pinnacle for FanDuel and Hard Rock. So I'm going to go over to FanDuel and I'm going to go place this bet on Dean Wade under on his rebounds. Now, you could make the argument that FanDuel takes more money than Pinnacle does on NBA player props. And I would say yes, they do. I am, though, more than willing to bet ARBs to Pinnacle all day long on NBA player props. I feel like that will definitely work out for me over the course of the long run. And looking at my historical data, I have no problem betting into FanDuel sometimes. So Dean Wade, I'm obviously not going to bet $700. They're only going to let me bet $150. So, again, guys, let me get rid of this for a second. Apologies about that. Look, they just moved the minus 104. I swear you can't make this up. 156 is what I can get. Go, go, go. Again, we got a really good price. If I wouldn't have talked so long, now it just moved to minus 113. Oh! Okay, so here's why I'm all fired up about this play. God, I love sports betting. So I understand that most of you guys are watching this stream. You're not going to be able to tail this play. But this is the confirmation. This is confirmation that we got a great price, okay? ARB to Pinnacle, right? We just talked about this. This was an ARB to Pinnacle. Go back and watch this a couple minutes ago. It's an ARB to Pinnacle. It looked great. We just talked about how Pinnacle, within the last 9 minutes, I love this. 10 minutes ago, they were sitting all the way up here, and they moved like 45 cents in one direction. And now, when we go over to FanDuel now has moved all the way down to minus 113. They were at plus 100 like 45 seconds ago, and they just moved 13 cents in a direction. So you see one sharp sports book move, then you see one of the biggest sports books, the largest sports book in America move. That's just confirmation, guys, that what you see is working. That's a play that you want to go after. So the problem with the positive EV tool with OddsJam is that there's a million opportunities out there, and it's really hard to figure out if a play's good or if it's not good. And so Hard Rock moved, FanDuel moved, everyone moved. So this is another reason why FanDuel can catch action from me. Sorry about that. I know I just went ballistic there, but that was just like, that's exactly what you want to see. That's you looking at this screen and saying, this is a good play. I should bet this play. And then as soon as you bet it, you immediately receive confirmation from FanDuel that, yes, you made a good decision. Now, Dean Wade might go out there tonight and grab 50 rebounds, right? Not every play is going to hit, but that's exactly what you're trying to do when you're making those types of decisions. Chris, it's interesting. Interesting to hear that. Appreciate that, Irish. I mean, listen, man, don't upset the wife too much, man. Happy wife, happy life is what they said. I don't know. I'm divorced, so obviously I didn't listen to that. But make sure you keep her happy. Speaking of Mr. Wade on his threes, this is an ARB to Pinnacle. It's an ARB to FanDuel. You don't really need me to tell you this is an absolute. This could be low key a palpable error by MGM. This is an insane one. I'm figuring that most people on the stream right now are limited on MGM, but when you see an ARB to multiple books, plus odds number is larger than the minus odds number when you're betting opposite sides. You can day trade the books and make a risk-free profit. Bet the Dean Wade over. Bagley, this is not quite the case here, right? Plus 113 is not a larger number than minus 115. It's almost a low hold, though, but this looks really, really good. Again, DraftKings is out to lunch on this one. Now, we don't see the crazy movement like we just saw on FanDuel. In an ideal world, guys, that Dean Wade rebounds play is what I want to see every time from Pinnacle. Within 10 minutes, they move, they drop off a cliff. Next thing you know, we can go bet that, right? So it's not always going to be the case, but I like that. Ronald Holland on Caesars. Low hold to Pinnacle. When the plus odds number is the same number as the minus odds on the over-under, you can bet 130 on Pinnacle. You can bet 100 on Caesars. You're in for $230, and you're going to make $230 no matter if the over or under hits. This is another really good play that you would want to attack in terms of a low hold. Again, though, we want to look at the movement here. And so what I don't like in this scenario is I don't like the fact that Caesars is the book that's moving within the last 5 minutes. They've moved 11 cents. So this is a play that while it looks good to Pinnacle, I don't like that Caesars is the rec book moving. I never like betting the rec book that's moving in the wrong direction. So this would be one that you could definitely go ahead and grab. But for myself personally, I probably would just stay away from this because I don't like that movement. Jamal Murray on his assists, over 6.5. Let's take a look at this one. So being able to see this movement, guys, is key. If you're on your mobile phone, use your Safari. I'm an iPhone user. Use on Google, whatever phone that you have, use your web browser. This is how you go over to OddsJam, pull up the web browser. This is how you're going to be able to see the line movement from your mobile phone. So obviously Pinnacle moved about 5 hours ago a lot. They were at minus 111. They dropped down to about minus 130. They've been chilling at minus 124. FanDuel, on the other hand, hasn't really been. They moved up a little bit, but not much. So I'm still okay grabbing Murray's over on his assists in this Nuggets-Mavericks game. And this is going to be probably alternate assists for Murray. Maybe not. Might be his main assists. Yeah. So just so you guys know, when you're looking at this over 6.5 assists on FanDuel, okay, you can see that the player assist market right here, this is where this over 6.5 is at plus 106. If you come down to Murray's alternate assists, it's at plus 104. You're actually getting a worse price. I know it might not seem like much, guys, but trust me, when you're end up betting like over $200 on a play, that little extra dough really starts to add up. So we want to take this up here at the over 6.5. What can I bet? I can bet $66, okay? So what I can do here is I can bet this at $66, and then I can come back down here, and normally you're able to wager a little bit more sometimes. I don't know if they will or they won't. Yeah, then let me bet this for $96, okay? So bet this for 96 and 66. So I'll put this down twice as $66, and then I'll put this up minus 104 for $96. Right? I bet the most that I can over on FanDuel. Right? If FanDuel was afraid, if FanDuel thought that I was a losing sports bettor, they would let me bet a lot more than what I just bet right there, guys. So subtle flex by me, but the fact is that if FanDuel was scared, if FanDuel's scared of me, that's why they're only letting me bet, I don't know, $150, $160 on that play max. If they weren't afraid of me, they would let me bet way more than that. So just another little subtle way to saying, like, kind of know how to make money sports betting. And if you are new to sports betting, this is where you're really going to learn, not just from a software standpoint, guys. There's a lot of other softwares out there that can make you money. I love OddsJam. I think they're the GOAT. But being able to look at this line movement, like Matt Collins tonight, Giants, Patriots, right? Like, this is a big movement from Ballybet. They were at minus 137. They moved up to plus 100. Pinnacle followed the similar movement. But let's focus a little bit more first on this. Let's focus first on this. Look at Pinnacle. They are the purple line here. Who moved their odds first? Pinnacle moved up a little bit, and then Canby moved after, okay? So every time that Pinnacle moved, Canby then followed shortly thereafter. So like right here, Pinnacle moves first, then Canby moves, then Pinnacle moves again, then Canby moves. So this is the recipe, guys. When you can see that Pinnacle moves, that's why so many Discord channels are trying to steam chase basically off Pinnacle's movement, because the rec books are slow to react. So when you can see this movement, it's a really good indicator that you want to go attack the rec books. Even the big boy like FanDuel, right? Pinnacle moves more times than not. You're going to be in a very good spot going after the rec book after you see that movement. So they're sitting here, what, like now minus 110? I think we got to refresh the page. Let me take a look at the Hollins play again. And the biggest thing for me, guys, when it comes to these streams is really to teach you guys about sharp sports betting. So you can see that they moved. It's funny enough that Canby actually, who moved here? Yeah, this was Bookmaker. Bookmaker moved, and then Pinnacle moved as well. So go bet this over 2.5 catches on Matt Collins. I'm in on this. I'm going to go grab this on Bet Rivers and hit this up. Didn't know that, Luis. Didn't know that one. That's crazy. Cam, any flip from PrizePicks value? Yeah, man. We looked at that earlier. We looked at PrizePicks earlier. We looked at Fliff earlier. Wasn't much on Fliff. For those of you that are tuning into the stream now, I'll kind of mention it again. 2 weeks ago, I ran a poll on my YouTube channel to my OGs and DGens asking them if they wanted me to make the live stream chat here only for members only. And actually 2/3 of them voted yes. But I got a lot of great responses. I'm just going over here on my phone, guys, to place this bet. I'm going to keep the live stream chat open for everybody. But if you want to see a certain play or a certain sports book, and Cam, you might just be asking, just so you know, no problem. But if you guys want to see a certain play, you're going to have to be, or want me to deviate the stream to a certain sports book or whatnot, make sure that you have to be a channel member in order to kind of get that. So I'm going to keep the chat open for everybody. But if you want to see certain sports book, a certain promo, certain play, it's going to be available for the OGs and DGens. Yeah, Manny, I mean, it could be. It could be. I try not to do too deep dive. Don't try to big brain it too much or tinfoil hat it too much, but it could be there. Cam, no rush, man. Listen, I know you asked earlier. I just wanted to not just for you, but for anyone that's popping in. We got like 75 people on the stream right now, which is awesome. And if you guys are finding any value in this right now, helps me out if you subscribe to the channel. Obviously, you know, we've been cooking over on Dub Club. So if you guys want to check out Dub Club, you know, I understand that some of you guys, you know, learning the software, this is a lot to take in. I've been doing this for 4 years using this software. I know it like the back of my hand. I'm using this software every single day. Kalkbrenner, no, but this looks really good on FanDuel all of a sudden. But if you guys want to check out the plays over on Dub Club, it's $19.99 a month or $9.99 a week if you guys want to check that out. Looks like it was good. Who dropped? Man, DraftKings just dropped. Wow, you don't normally see this. But check out Dub Club if you want to. I think we got about 43 of you now in there right now, which has been great. Picks are already out for Dub Club today. So looking forward to seeing how things shake out tonight. But the last 3-4 days have been pretty solid. Pretty solid days. So looking to do that again. We've been cooking on the NHL goal scores. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's been really, really good. I don't like that Kalkbrenner movement. Let's refresh this. Let's see what else we have going on here. Talked about Dean Wade. Okay. We talked about the Murray play. It still looks pretty good. Eamon Thompson on his points, rebounds, and assists. This is an arb to Pinnacle. Pinnacle's unders at +112. The overs at -110 on MGM and Hard Rock. Bet cross market, guys. Bet that all day long. Really good play over there. What else do we have? We talked about the Mac Hollins play. Okay. Now, what I will say here for ProfitX and No Vig, bet the Dyson Daniels play, bet the Valanciunas play, bet the Luka play. Dylan Brooks, $1,600 is a lot of dough. That's a lot of dough. Honestly, I'd stay away from the Dylan Brooks play. Honestly, that's what I would do. Cam, appreciate that, man. Yeah, Cam. $2, $1.99 a month is enough to request plays. No doubt about that. Gold, great question, man. No DFS. There's no DFS. I don't give out any DFS. I don't really give out any parlays. These are all straight wagers. For Dub Club, though, guys, I give you a range when it comes to the plays. So to break it down, we can show an example from... great question. Something I kind of forget at times to show. So if we look at plays from a couple days ago, let's look at here. This was from a few days ago. So when I give out my plays on Dub Club, guys, they look something like this. This is what you get with a card, right, guys? If you sign up for a 1 month or 3 month subscription, you get a 3-day free trial. So try it out for free for 3 days. So the Chris Kreider play, this cashed, right? I tell you where to bet this at Fanatics, but I also tell you that you can play this to plus 180 odds, right? If I bet it myself, I try to share as many links as I can, so over on FanDuel. But for those of you that live in states that maybe you don't have FanDuel or you don't have a DraftKings, I try to provide a range for you guys to bet this at. You can also, obviously, if you have access to the exchanges, every single one of these plays, you can go ahead and create a play for it. Doesn't mean, obviously, that the order is going to get filled, but you can create a play over on the exchanges. So I try to provide as many links as I can. Kambi doesn't really allow me to share links, or at least I don't know how to. Maybe I'm just technology challenged a little bit. But, all these plays here, bet it at minus 128, but you can bet it to minus 135. Some have higher ranges, right? The Hawks-Sixers game that went to double overtime, we hit the over, minus 125, play this to minus 135. So that's kind of how it goes with the Dub Club card, and how you can kind of see what's going on there. So let's take a look at some other things. NCA, we talked about his under on his PRA a lot, but he could hit his over on his threes. This looks good on DraftKings. How good, though, does it look? This is really just 4 different sports books that have 4 different opinions here. Obviously, guys, you can add more sports books if you want to, but there is a little bit of movement here from DraftKings for sure. But I would still go in on this over. I have no problem with that. Then we have a lot of FanDuel plays. Lots of FanDuel plays. We'll see what's that. Cam, to go over to PrizePicks? Sure. If you're like me and you want to play 3-pick entries on PrizePicks, I would say I do not like this Cooper Flag Cam Johnson play. Benedict Mathurin, yes. Under PRA, it's fine. It's not great to FanDuel, to be honest. It's okay. It's not ideal. Kawhi's not ideal. Jalen Duren, there's literally like no sports books offering this, so don't know how I feel about that one. Kalel Ware, the over, Pinnacle's at 20.5 at plus 112 odds, but we need to set minus 122. There isn't, to be very honest with you, man, there's not much here. The Mark Williams play I would add to a slip. This is trash right now, to be brutally honest. This is not very good. Refresh it once more. This isn't very good to FanDuel. So, it feels like I'm trying to force something. So, at the moment, I would say not really anything at all. And for any OGs and DGens right now, make sure you're welcome in, Cam. Appreciate that, Maddie. Appreciate that, 49ers faithful. I would say, though, they're not the time. Şengün, okay, over on his blocks. I don't mind Şengün. Talked about the Mark Williams under. I don't mind these 2 plays. The under on Williams is rebounds. The over on Şengün blocks. Amen Thompson over on his 7 rebounds is fine. So if you would do this, I would do something like this. Again, I would put probably a quarter of a unit on this play at most. This is like okay. It's not great. But that's what I would do for PrizePicks. If you don't want to play these at all, don't blame you. I don't blame you. Let's refresh this and see what else we have. This Dean Wade play's been out here for a minute. You could just tell MGM is just like sleeping. They have no idea what's going on. Zaire Williams on his points, the under. This is way off to FanDuel. It's way off to Pinnacle. Bet the under 9.5. Hornets Nets. Williams under 9.5 points. This is insane on MGM and Hard Rock, which you're going to hear that a lot. You could probably do his points, rebounds, and assists as well. Yeah, it's an arb to Pinnacle. You could bet this under, but I'd rather bet his under on his points. A lot of these guys don't play Dylan Brooks. And the reason that I say don't play Dylan Brooks, on a day like today, there's a billion plays out here. Don't mess around with a play that has $1,600 in liquidity. To me, there's just too much volume out there. You don't have to try to solve this puzzle. Go bet Norman Powell there's only $62 here. There's $100 on Luka. These are low liquidity plays. Like if I'm a professional sports bettor, I don't wake up in the morning thinking to myself, let me try to dangle a $62 player prop out there to really like fool these odds jammers. That's not what I'm thinking about. If I'm a professional sports bettor, I'm like, I want to get like $5,000 to $10,000 down on an NBA player prop tonight. This is not what I'm thinking of. So I don't believe that there's a sharp professional bettor trying to, get one on us on this player prop. Aaron Holiday, I'm looking for movement most importantly, really, guys. And we see a decent amount of movement here from Pinnacle. Like this movement from FanDuel's, they're just kind of going back and forth, resetting. There's not much here. Pinnacle, there's some movement here. Aaron Holiday, under 9.5 points in the Jazz and the Rockets. So I'm going to go hit this play up right now on FanDuel. We will be streaming again tomorrow, guys, at 9 a.m. Eastern. Hitting this all up again. Let me look at this play on Holiday. His main line's at 10.5, so this is an alternate line, the under 9.5. And I can only bet about $102. At least I can profit $100 here. So there we go. We're in on that one. Bet Tracker's free on OddsGM, guys. I've been using it for 4 years. It's one of my best friends. It's really, really good. Love using the Bet Tracker. It helps me out a lot. So I don't like this movement, how much FanDuel's moving in the past, 40 minutes or so. I don't like that. Even though Pinnacle dropped off a cliff, they really just reset to their original price a little while ago. So I'm just going to stay away from that one. Not my thing. Luka on the score. Hey, just changed, or something just changed. Grab this on ProfitX, guys. $78 on the over. I'm going to go over to 4CX and grab this at plus 115 odds. This looks good on Luka's over on his points tonight. If you're on 4CX, let's have a race. Go, go, go. Over 32.5 at plus 110 odds. There's only $50 available. Again, I mean, love the 4CX. This is definitely a favorite of mine. All right. We're in for 50 over here on 4CX. What do we get this at? 115? Perfect. What else do we got here? Giannis on his assists. Again, if you guys are Hard Rock or Underdog users, you can play this James Harden play. It's good if you want to put this on a 3-man slip, no insurance, or a 6-man slip or a 5-man slip. No problems there. Again, guys, for those of you that are playing like 5- and 6-man entries, you might know this, but the amount of variance that you are going to see playing 5- and 6-man entries is going to be insane. You could have very positive EV plays, and you might fire off 100 slips on a 5- or 6-man slip, and you could lose all of them. The variance is crazy, and that's why I stick to 3-man slips where you're still going to experience pretty crazy variance, but it's not as extreme. And I will say this, at least for me personally, playing 5- and 6-man slips consistently can literally break your soul. That's how bad it is. It's not that you're doing anything wrong, but you keep seeing loss after loss after loss. And I don't know about you guys, but after I see like 6 or 7 slips in a row that lose, like, dude, it just gets to me. So the reason that I stick to 3-man slips is because of that variance. I cannot tell you how many people that have messaged me being like, dude, I'm playing 6-man slips. Like, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. It's like, bro, you're not doing anything wrong. The variance is insane on those slips. And so it's just the math and how it works out. This play on Giannis is very good. I would definitely take this play over here. Spida over on his points to get 30 tonight. I don't mind that at all. I would not play this on FanDuel. It's not good enough on FanDuel, but I definitely would over on BetMGM. Let me catch up to everyone in the chat at the moment. No doubt about that, Maddie. Appreciate you letting me know about that. Yeah, A-Rank. Basically, California, I believe the start of the beginning of the year, it's going to be very tough out in the streets to bet in California, I think, period. You might be able to use the offshore sports books, but the social sweepstakes sports books, I think they have some changes coming. I'll look this up tonight, but I think they have some changes coming that's going to make it very difficult to wager in California for sure. Holden, no. I mean, Texas votes every 2 years, and they voted no. They voted in March this year, and they didn't pass sports betting. They're not going to vote again to legalize it until March of 2027. So Texas won't be legalized for sports betting until March of 2027. So the no vig, the Profit X's in Texas, you can still use those, but unfortunately you won't be able to use like FanDuel and DraftKings. No doubt about that, Maddie. No doubt about that. Yeah, no doubt about that. Is Fliff getting banned? Well, Fliff's not really getting. I don't know if Fliff's getting banned. It's the social sweepstakes model is really getting hit hard now. You know, that was a model that came out a couple years ago and it was popping. Fliff was popping, rebets going off. Everybody wants to use the social sweepstakes model, so everybody kind of copies and pastes. It's a copycat league, and this ban play, yeah, I'm totally fine with taking the ban play on that under. And nowadays, it's, you know, everyone's now moving to the predictions market. Everyone's trying to get a predictions market license and get approved for that. So what you're going to see from NoVig and ProfitX is they're just going to try to apply. They're already in the process, at least NoVig is, to my knowledge, of trying to become a predictions market instead of a social sweepstakes. You know, the Kalshis and the poly markets are out there. We can bet on Kalshi right now, guys. It's a trade predictions market. It's the same thing, but legally it's not. So that's what they're really trying to aim to do. And that's where we're at. All right, guys, I'm out of breath and I'm hungry, so I got to go make some dinner. I could easily stream for another 3 hours, but I'm just out of gas. Appreciate you guys on here. Great conversation, great questions. Appreciate everyone that's in here, the OGs, D-Gens, the regulars. Even if you're not an OG or D-Gen, still love you. Appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel, guys, if you found any value in this. I'm on tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, running this back. We'll recap and see how the first day of December treats us. Historically, I don't have very good first days of the month. But just because that's what's in the past doesn't mean that it's going to predict what's going to happen today. Have an awesome evening, guys. Enjoy the sports. I'll talk to you guys mañana. Adios.